Please give a warm welcome to this year's graduates of the School of Education.
Distinguished family, friends, and most importantly, graduates. I'm Stephanie Mahfood, and I am the Interim Dean of the School of Education. On behalf of all the faculty and staff, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony honoring the graduates of 2024. Today, we celebrate graduates who have prepared to be educators, educational leaders, educational innovators, school principals, educational technologists, school psychologists, reading specialists, applied behavior analysts, and teachers, art teachers, special education teachers, elementary, middle, and secondary teachers, world language teachers. All of these educators are essential in the lives of children and in the fabric of our communities. Today started with our main ceremony. Throughout the day, there have been separate ceremonies across the university for individual schools and colleges. And we are now at the final ceremony of the day. And dare I say, they have saved the best for last. Graduates, we are all here to celebrate you and your accomplishments, but I would not be an effective educator if I did not take this moment to engage you all in a moment of self-praise. It's wonderful to hear accolades, and we are about to give you many. But for you and this most complex and noble profession you are about to step into or enter a new chapter, the most important voice in the room right now is yours. So take a minute here and think about the journey you have walked through in completing your program. Think about the challenges you overcame, think about the sacrifices you made, and think about the growth you have shown. Congratulate yourself on a journey well traveled. And now we are on to more external reinforcement. It is my pleasure to introduce you to my colleague and chair of the Department of Teacher Education, Dr. Basir Rodney.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our 2024 graduation, our commencement ceremony. I must extend a special warm welcome and thank you to faculty, staff, students, and families directly. I am delighted to be here today to celebrate the commencement and graduation of our students in the Department of Teacher Education. Our department is committed to preparing our students to be effective, innovative, and empathetic educators. We believe that all students deserve a high-quality education, regardless of their background or circumstances. Our students learn from experienced and dedicated faculty who are passionate about teaching. They also have the opportunity to gain valuable experience through our field placements in schools across the region and now increasingly in different parts of the world. I am proud to say that our graduates are in high demand by school districts across our region. Our students are making a difference in the lives of their students and helping to prepare them for success here in St. Louis, across the US, in Uzbekistan and Central Asia, and in different parts of the world. Today, we are honored to have with us our commencement speaker, Ms. Cheyenne DeKemper. Please join me in welcoming Cheyenne to the podium.
Good afternoon. Welcome, friends, graduates, families, to the 2024 School of Education Commencement Ceremony. I am so proud of my fellow graduates and honored to have this opportunity to share my admiration with you and celebrate with you today. While we have been learning alongside each other, our paths have intersected, converging like streams coming together to create a larger river, the current strong. Our passion for learning, heightened by a drive to foster a love of learning in others, led us here. We each have our own distinctive why, the driving force behind everything we do that drives us to this field. And you may have known what yours was from the start or discovered it along the way. To reach this milestone in our lives today, we've had to believe in who we are and trusted in what we can do, especially when faced with tough decisions. I'm sure that many of you, like myself, have encountered moments when you've had to decide whether to stay within your comfort zone or try something new, to accept an opportunity that comes with great risk or stick to what you know. I encountered a moment like this last summer when I made the decision to teach at Teton Science Schools as an AmeriCorps member. AmeriCorps is a federal program that aims to strengthen communities through civic engagement and volunteering. The job was to build the capacity of Teton Science Schools by engaging students in summer camp programs and visiting school groups, in place-based lessons and outdoor activities. But there seemed to be an ever-growing list of reasons why I was not ready for the responsibilities this job entailed. For one thing, I live in the Midwest, always have. Am I really the best candidate to educate students about the greater Yellowstone ecosystem? And I've never had to manage a group of students in said wilderness with the added elements of moose and bears. I had never pushed myself to take a risk of that measure, and I thought the larger the risk, the steeper the fall. But I reminded myself of what I knew to be true, what we've all learned to be true. Risks are opportunities for us to grow. Sometimes the hardest part is deciding. Before I knew it, I was taking kids who had never stepped foot into a national park to Grand Teton National Park and Yellowstone on their first ever camping trip. I was telling and listening to stories around the campfires with my new friends and fellow educators who, like me, took a risk by taking the job. And at some point, I realized I was looking at myself and at my experience from a new perspective. And the risk I had been so afraid to take was now one of the best decisions I had ever made. It's a whole lot easier to take risks when surrounded by people who share your passion and want to see you succeed. What I love most about this graduating body is that we have never neglected to build one another up in the process of pursuing our own individual careers. The words of wisdom and encouragement we've given each other helped us take the risks we could never take alone. Let's take a moment to reflect on our journey thus far and how we came to be here. We have invested our time, resources, and efforts to reaching this milestone, knowing that this work would open doors we may have yet to open. Between the late-night classes, part-time and full-time jobs, and commitments to family and friends, we had to find balance. We learned how to navigate the DESI website well enough. And when our classmates needed us to embody the persona of a kindergartner, all for feedback on a lesson, we understood the assignment. For some of us, including myself, our first step into the world of college was taken from home or from within a dorm room through a computer screen. The COVID era was a time when many people felt alone. Choosing to pursue a degree in education when no schools were open and no one knew what would happen was no doubt a risk. Yet we still found ways to connect with each other over Zoom to make our virtual time together meaningful. Then we heard the news that in-person learning was safe again, and in our classrooms, study groups, and throughout this campus, we emerged from isolation and built a culture that values the lessons learned from failure and demands the inclusion of all who want to learn. Do not discount the risks you've taken to achieve your goals. We can stand here today with a new perspective and confidence in our abilities because we've allowed ourselves the chance to grow. But let us acknowledge that it was not only we, the students, who led to this outcome. Today, as we stand on the threshold of a new start, let us express our deepest gratitude to all those who've contributed to our growth and success. Our professors and mentors have nurtured our hearts and minds every step of the way. Our cooperating teachers welcomed us to their classrooms and entrusted us with their students. Our supervisors gave us honest, sometimes critical feedback so that we could apply new strategies and teach more effectively. Our professors were there too during those late-night classes, sometimes after a full day of teaching themselves. They still made classes memorable, set high standards, and let us drop parachute prototypes from Webster's 4th floor. Our guides on and off campus shared their stories and equipped us with the tools we need to continue our learning beyond this place. And isn't that what all teachers dream of? That their students continue to thrive and flourish beyond their classrooms. We thank you, teachers and mentors, for everything you have done to prepare us for the next chapter. And we'll be sure to keep you updated on our progress. To the parents and families gathered here today, we thank you for encouraging us to follow our calling. You've been our first teachers, our pillars of support, cheering us on during late-night classes and study sessions, offering guidance when doubts crept in. Your unwavering belief in our abilities helped us continue carving our path forward, reminding us of who we are and what impact we can have. To my family and others, thank you. As we step into the next chapter of our lives, let us carry forward the lessons taught to us and continue to inspire the next generation of learners. The time has come for us to take another risk. We must leave the river we've known and carve in a new direction. Some of us are already teaching in classrooms, which is amazing. Some of us are about to start. In either case, we will encounter moments when the responsibilities of our role weigh heavily on us, times when the consequences of our decisions seem paralyzing. You don't know the content well enough, or how to meet the needs of all your diverse learners, or how to help a student with challenging behaviors. What I hope you, my fellow graduates, consider is this. What do you remember most from your time as a student? Beloved children's book author Kate DiCamillo shares a story about the power of teaching. She wrote, "I signed for a package last week. The delivery guy said, 'DiCamillo?' I said, 'Yes.' 'Wait,' he said. 'Did you write Because of Winn-Dixie?' I did. 'Oh, wow,' he said. My third grade teacher read that book to us. I'll never forget it. And then he smiled at me, this radiant, beautiful smile. And I suddenly saw him as an 8-year-old kid, sitting in class, listening to a story. That man's third grade teacher is out there somewhere, and I wanted to let her know this. He remembers. He remembers you reading to him. There is so much beauty in teaching. We have the unique ability to invest in the lives of our students, fuel their curiosity, and ignite their sense of wonder. We teach the standards and so much more. How to be a good friend, how to see through someone else's point of view, even if they look and live differently than you. How to show empathy, even when there is no tangible reward for doing so. We do this because we know that our students are not only learning academics, but how to be good people. Yes, our students will likely forget much of what we teach them, but those moments when learning was magical stay with them forever. Maya Angelou captured the essence of this when she said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." Making your students feel welcome in the classroom, making the classroom a home where they belong, is half the battle. Class of 2024, wherever your next risk takes you, know that you are not alone. Forge a river in your classroom and school community by contributing what you can. Welcome all those who want to learn. Welcome those who have yet to discover the joy of learning, and be their guide. Embrace every unique individual and help them define their own story, so that they, too, are empowered to take risks. And don't forget to continue taking risks yourself. May we continue to inspire, educate, and learn. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Cheyenne. And Cheyenne I mean, all of our graduates are extraordinary, but she spent last year at Grand Teton State Park, as she indicated, working in environmental science. And she's doing that again this summer, and she already has a job in a local school district in Bayless. Our Department of Teacher Education prepares K-12 teachers, school personnel, and other educators. We expect our graduates to advocate for their students and support the families for whom they create authentic learning experiences. We expect our graduates to be more participatory in our society and to become positive change agents in our diverse and global world. As the chair of the Department of Teacher Education, it is my honor to present our class of 2023-2024 candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Education degree.
Nuria Rodney. Annie Parsons. Emily Glidewell. Evelyn Gonzalez. Trey Dietrich. Jessica Berman. Dakota Stout. Hannah Bob Palmer. Emma Lepien. Caitlin Watson. Lucy Schultz. Micah Schwartz. Shannon Nash. Amira Al-Halabi. Colin Wren. Kate Rolfus. Angelina Calabrese. Kirby Mendenhall. Abby Poe. Aaron DeMarco. Evan Vandegrift. Mickey Furch. Cheyenne Dick Kemper.
Thank you very much. We will applaud all of our candidates at the end. The Department of Teacher Education prepares pre-K teachers, school personnel, and other educators. We expect our graduates to, again, advocate for our students in what is a global and digital world. It is my honor to present our 2023-2024 candidates for the Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Arts degrees, and graduate certificates in the Department of Teacher Education. And before I begin, we have 2 candidates in this master's list that are also particularly special. As you can see in the undergraduate list, my daughter was on the stage. I am very grateful. I am very grateful. We have 2 of our students from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, who came just for the graduation today.
Madeline Bixen. Hannah Altamimi. Janelle Basemuir. Carolyn Harris. Susanna Myers. Angela Jones. Ashley Miller. Darylyn Bell. Melanie Brown. Mary Woolbright. Earl Irving Supplement. Gulsina Baisova. Victoria Warren. Megan Mogley. Jane Rudloff. Tammy Davis.
And now it is my privilege to introduce you to Dr. Ralph Alleges, Chair of the Graduate Department of Education.
It's my privilege to introduce this year's commencement speaker from the Graduate Department of Education. In 2022, Tracy Mency began her journey at Webster University pursuing an MA in Applied Educational Psychology, a program that enhanced her understanding of adolescent development. As a result of teaching high school English and social studies since 2005, Tracy Mency has left an indelible mark on students' lives. Her passion for fostering critical thinking and empathy makes her a true asset to the academic community. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Tracy Mency.
Good afternoon, and congratulations to my fellow graduates. Like previously stated, my name is Tracy Mency, and today I'm graduating with a Master's in Applied Educational Psychology. Next year, I will begin my second decade teaching secondary English and social studies in the city of St. Louis. And next Saturday, when my students graduate, I will be completing my fourth year teaching seniors in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood, a neighborhood in North City where violent crime is almost 600% the national average. As a veteran teacher, I am grateful for the opportunities made available through Webster University that reaffirm my career and life decisions. For example, I know for sure, and advanced statistics confirm, that I am not, nor should I ever be a math teacher. In all seriousness though, there was an assignment in the Immigrant and Refugee Experience course that I will never forget, as it has a huge impact on me and my future. As we learned about helping kids process trauma, we completed a Tree of Life activity. Basically, you start by drawing a tree. Then you label and include details such as where you came from, which are the roots, where you currently are, which is the ground and trunk, and where you want to grow from here, the branches. I enjoyed this activity in class and decided to use it in my own classroom with my seniors. Even though they often drive me crazy, let me tell you, the kids that I teach are my heroes. As 18-year-olds, they handle and have been through stuff that would break most grown adults. At the end of the assignment, I got some pretty moving trees. And even the kids who school isn't their thing and I can't draw attempted to at least stick trees. The part of the assignment they really ran with was the compost section. This is where all the yucky stuff that they've been through is transformed into fuel and used for growth. These kids want to do better and be better. And most of the time, they don't have the tools, resources, or consistent support they need to get there. Something about this assignment clicked for me, and it will forever have a special place in my heart as the moment where the classroom combined with ideas from Webster and started budding a new branch on my own tree of life. Additionally, last summer, another life-changing opportunity was presented to me when I was offered the chance to research and present at an international school psychology conference in Belgium. Just when I needed it, this opportunity both reignited my passion for learning and reaffirmed my goal to retire early and travel, especially when somebody else foots the bill. Thanks, Webster. While in Brussels, in between great beer and even better chocolate, I got to meet and listen to school counselors from all over the world and realized that kids are all dealing with different versions of the same problems. By sharing successes, struggles, advice, and concerns with professionals on an international level, it helped me to connect the realities of these young trauma survivors around the world, whether they be orphans from the AIDS crisis in Africa, children fleeing war, or our own kiddos here in North City. So not only has Webster provided me with an immediate, applicable, and meaningful classroom opportunities, these programs and experiences have given me the best pathway forward to realize my vocation of helping our most at-risk population of youth. Now, after taking several gap decades, that's what it's called, right? With inspiration from classes at Webster, traveling, my seniors, and even my own kiddos, I will continue my education to be Dr. Tracy and broaden my career to be a teen and young adult counselor, because our kids, especially the at-risk ones, need more highly trained and caring adults in their corner as they grow their trees. I'll close by giving credit where credit is due. Special thanks to my parents for setting strong examples and having my back, especially these last 3 years. I need to give props to my own 4 kids, Luke, Ben, Andy, and Carrie, for being my inspirations, my joys, my fuel to do and be better. Love you more. And then last but certainly not least, my Matt. Thank you to my love, my partner, and my complementary force. I look forward to a lifetime of adventures with you. Thank you.
The Graduate Department of Education houses master's degrees and certificates in educational psychology, mathematics, reading, educational leadership, and technology. It's my honor to present the class of 2023-2024 from our master's and graduate certificate programs.
Tawny Kessner. John Russell. Diana Carvajal Carlson. Christiana Chakudia. Marissa Bryan. Tracy Menzie. Ashley Hayes, Educational Specialist.
Please join me in congratulating all our graduates. Dr. Nicole Lee Johnson will preside over the hooding of our 2023-2024 candidates for the Doctor of Education. And it's my pleasure to bring Nicole to the podium.
Thank you and good afternoon. It is a privilege and honor to introduce our Doctor of Education commencement speaker to you. Doctoral candidate Carrie Fair is in the transformative learning in the global community emphasis. Upon graduation from the doctoral program, she was hired as a full-time lecturer at Washington University in St. Louis. Let's welcome Carrie Fair.
Gotta look my age. Fellow graduates, faculty, staff, family, and friends, I'm Dr. Carrie Fair. After graduating, as Dr. Lee said, from the EDD program, I was hired as a full-time lecturer at Washington University here in St. Louis. I'm honored to share my journey as a Webster University student and graduate. I'm a first-generation college graduate born and raised in rural northern Missouri. I wanted to take a moment to honor my parents, their love, dedication, and strength. I am the beneficiary of their hard work, joy, creativity, and passion. Their foundation of love and strength is a legacy I hope to pass on to my own children, my son, who will be graduating from high school 1 week from today. At the beginning of my doctorate in education journey, I experienced burnout as a full-time school principal, exhausted, disconnected, and lacking in motivation. After years of service to others, I lost connection with myself and my sense of professional value and purpose. I became increasingly aware that my work and personal lives were out of balance. I left to pursue my doctorate studies at Webster University, where I was encouraged to engage in transformative learning experiences and to critically examine the underlying factors that contributed to the phenomenon of burnout. My focus centered on burnout, not only in myself, but also in others, particularly those who are often underrepresented. My goal throughout the program was to understand and alleviate the struggles faced by other educators also experiencing burnout. I focused on a demographic often overlooked: middle-aged, experienced women teachers in K-12 schools. Their perspectives, I felt, would provide invaluable insights into the resilience of long-term teaching careers. 8 K-12 teachers participated in my study, reconceptualizing their burnout experience through a curated collection of photos, a reflective journal, and a retelling of their stories in an interview. What I found was both revealing and deeply moving. These educators, despite their dedication and love for teaching, often found themselves exhausted, grappling with the high demands and low support that characterizes our current education system. I'd like to share a few quotes from their stories to bring some of their burnout narratives to life. Ava, pseudonyms, a kindergarten teacher sharing her struggles with supporting a specific student while balancing the needs of the rest of the class and her emotional health. I had a motivator thing that vibrates, and on the side I wore one of those clickers to keep track of things. I think we decided every 2 minutes I was giving a positive statement to him. 2 minutes, every 2 minutes. No matter what I was doing, I had to find something positive he was doing. Then it switched to every 2 minutes and a pom-pom in a jar at the same time. Then positive statement, pom-pom in a jar, and an Oreo cookie, little Oreo cookie, all of them at the same time, every 2 minutes, all day, for weeks, until it switched to 5 minutes. Can you imagine? You're in your train of thought, you're in the middle of something good, and you have to stop and switch. Sally, a secondary chemistry teacher, reflects on her career as she begins retirement. I've always wondered what makes a good teacher step away. I believe it is when it becomes too much work and the personal life suffers too much stress. Part of the reason I'm a bit sad as I reflect is that I cannot help but wonder, what if I had been a better mom and a wife, if I had not given so much of my life to my job? Participants from my investigation are not alone, as the following statistics from 2024 show. K-12 teachers are the #1 most burnt out profession in the US, followed by college and university workers, which is even higher for those who are Black and Latino Hispanic educators. 44% of teachers report often or always feeling burnt out, an increase from 36% last year. There are 500,000 plus fewer educators in the American public school system post-pandemic. 43% of educator job postings are going unfulfilled. Why is this significant? The status quo for many teachers in schools today involves not only educating, but also navigating an increasingly complex landscape of public opinion, politicized narratives, administrative expectations, and social-emotional challenge without adequate support. A few participants from my study indicated that they wanted to be seen as valuable, known, complex, human. My dissertation challenged the status quo realities of teacher burnout, and it reframed the culture of care for all of us. Humanizing the teaching profession means creating environments where teachers are valued as whole individuals with needs, aspirations, and limits. It involves transforming our schools into places where teachers feel supported and respected, not just as professionals, but as people. This reality presents a grim picture, but it is precisely why our role as teachers is so critical. One of the unique attributes of teachers and administrators is their adaptability and willingness to explore and implement progressive educational theories that prioritize students' well-being and holistic development. Flexibility and adaptability can also serve to shift school cultures to better serve us and our students in more supportive and nurturing environments that elevate the well-being of all, our young people and their teachers. As we graduate and start to make our way in the various roles of our field, I challenge us not only to educate, but to advocate for our and our peers' well-being. Let us be the ones to start to rehumanize the profession to ensure future generations of teachers are empowered and supported and valued. By doing so, we honor the legacy of the teachers who have shaped us, not by bearing the unsustainable, but by transforming it, so that we in turn can honor ourselves and our colleagues and the countless students whose lives we will touch. Celebrate your worth by defying the norm. Be authentic and human, unapologetically.
Thank you, Carrie, for that wonderful, powerful speech. Our Doctor of Education program prepares scholar practitioners who have the passion and competence to transform the world. Our doctoral program motivates students to engage in critical discourse with the social movements, challenge the status quo of inequities in education, and conduct systematic educational research so that they can become transformative leaders in their fields. Each of our doctoral candidates had made substantial contribution to our knowledge base and tackled the problem of practice in education in their dissertation. It is my honor to present to you our candidates for Doctor of Education. It is my honor to introduce Carrie Lynn Fair. Dissertation title, Stories Most Difficult to Tell Are the Most Vital to Share. A phenomenographic investigation of teacher burnout theories and narratives. Carrie's dissertation chair is Dr. Stephanie Mahfood. I present to you Dr. Fair. It is my honor to introduce Jennifer May Ono. Dissertation title, Radical Transformation of the Power Language Dynamic in the K-6 Classroom, a mixed method study of elementary school teachers in the USA. Jennifer's dissertation chair is Dr. Yin-Lam Lee Johnson. It is my honor to introduce Lenitra A. Thomas. Dissertation title, Leading and Learning, an investigation of principals' experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lenitra's dissertation chair is Dr. Tyrone McNichols. I'll be adhooting today. Thank you very much.
Before we close here this afternoon and confer these degrees, I would first like to recognize our School of Education faculty members who are sitting here behind me. Graduates, these individuals have been your teachers, your mentors, your critical colleagues, and your cheerleaders. They are professional educators of professional educators, which means, I think, that that officially qualifies them for the title of pedagogical Yoda. Most importantly, they care deeply about the preparation of the next generation of educators, which anchors them in the work that they do with students. Can we take a minute again and thank them? Faculty, will you please stand? I also want to recognize members of the School of Education staff. They are the neural network of the work that we do. You have had one or more of them maybe as a course instructor in your program. Graduates, your journey in the School of Education has been held up in part by the hands of these amazing people. I want to take a moment to acknowledge them. They're presently in the theater, ensuring that this ceremony goes off without a hitch, so while it is dark, if I say your name, can you stand and wave so we can acknowledge you? Sheila Anglin Jordan. Wearer of many hats, Sheila is the Director of Field Experience, guiding the ship of our culminating field experiences with students and their supervisors. If you've survived practicum and apprentice teaching, Sheila more than likely had something to do with it. If you are a transfer student, the first face in the school you saw was probably Sheila's. And if you were in the School of Education learning community as a freshman, one of your first course instructors was Sheila. Jessie Calloway. Where is she? There she is. Coordinator of our immersion simulation program. If you've participated in immersion simulation, more than likely, Jesse was the wizard behind the curtain. Many of you benefited from Jesse's support and experience as well in practicum seminar and as a supervisor. Donna Ferreira. Where are you, Donna? There she is. If you've partaken of anything in the School of Education, food, facilities, special programming that costs money, then Donna has had some part in this. If it has a budget, Donna is managing it. Jessica Hanses. Where is she? There she is. If there are program data to be collected somewhere, Jessica is on the case. Many of you are aware that we won a highly prestigious award for our accreditation efforts at our last accreditation visit. Jessica's efforts were largely instrumental in our receiving that accolade. Marie Eisenberg. Coordinator of field placements. If you've completed practicum or apprentice teaching, you are familiar with Marie's work. If there's a placement to be obtained, it does not happen without Marie. Kate Northcott. Director of our Student Literacy Corps. Kate's programs provides tutoring opportunities for our students at our local schools. Many of you got some of your first teaching experience in Literacy Corps. Yupa Saisanan. Coordinator of Communication and Recruitment. If you have looked at one of our School of Education web pages, picked up a program information sheet, received an invitation to a School of Education event, or participated in an information session, you were drawn into Yupa's work. Lindsay Schwartz. Department representative for the Graduate Department of Education and manager of special projects. From managing course schedules and supporting students to welcoming delegations of educators to, in fact, from Kazakhstan, Lindsay's work literally spans the world. David Stevens. Currently the voice and the announcer of all things in the School of Ed ceremony, our guru of all things related to certification. If it's related to a DESE requirement, then David knows it. Teacher certification, principal certification, reading specialist certification, school psychologist certification doesn't happen without David guiding the ship. I'm going to give some closing remarks, but I have to say I'm feeling fairly intimidated because all of our student speakers' speeches were so profoundly powerful, I don't know that I have anything more to say. So can we acknowledge them one more time? Maybe there's a little bit left. These final remarks, actually, graduates, were written by you. About halfway through the year, we put up a giant whiteboard in the School of Education hallway. And the whiteboard provides a public forum for students, staff, and faculty to respond collectively to questions that we pose on the board. For the last several months, there has been a question written on that whiteboard that starts with two words: what if? The rest of the prompt goes like this: what if you could do one thing to change schools to serve students and their families better? Over the last several months, I have watched the answers to this question expand and evolve on this whiteboard. Just when I think I should erase it and start again with a fresh new question, there's more responses. And then these responses trigger other responses. And it isn't just responses that are added, there are comments on the board, like yes, like agreed. There's smiley faces, there are arrows and smiley faces that are pointing to things that people appreciate about a particular idea that has been written on the board. I'm really fascinated by the myriad innovative responses that are written on this board. But what I'm more fascinated with is by the two words that generated these extraordinary answers. They're just two. What if? It's a tiny little phrase. Like I said, it's only 2 words, but it contains so much power. So why? I have a few ideas. First of all, what if is actually the love language for educators? For those of you who are not educators or you haven't hung around educators for an extended amount of time, let me tell you something. Educators are idealistic to their cores. They want to make the world better. They believe they can. Many times they do. What if is the space in which they do their work? What if speaks to possibility, it speaks to change, innovation, and progress. You cannot be an effective educator without a what if. It is as essential for a professional educator as oxygen and water and coffee. Second, what if does not just happen, it's built by several key ingredients: hope and possibility, agency and empowerment, vision and purpose, and a community of fellow what-ifers to share what-ifs with that collaboratively build to bigger what-ifs, and the collaborations then required to attain these what-ifs. With these ingredients, what-ifs change systems, they empower students, they transform lives. But without them, what-ifs wither away, and in extreme cases, they don't come back. Finally, what if speaks to possibility. What if I could do? What if I could build? But be careful, it has a cousin, the what if I would have done. This cousin can be a little bit tricky if we aren't careful. Graduates, you have gone through our School of Education programs and you all know how to be reflective practitioners. You've been trained to reflect on your practice and challenge yourself to grow and improve. This is a habit of mind, and it is essential to professional growth and a healthy application of what if I would have done. But beware of the what if I would have done that pushes you into shame and self-blame and hopelessness and rumination about things that cannot be undone or factors outside of your control. Thoughts like that suffocate what ifs, and it means that this cousin has overstayed its welcome. My dear graduates, I want to thank you for having the courage to pursue your what if of completing your degree program in the School of Education. If you are in the graduating class of 2024, that is not unnoticed. For many of you, it means that your commencement in high school in 2020 was a virtual one that occurred during the COVID lockdown. The fact you are all sitting here right now, having completed your degree program in the School of Education, speaks to the strength of your what if and your tenacity in holding on to it. But you are clear-eyed about the current conditions that exist in many of our schools. The plague of school shootings almost weekly, student learning loss from COVID lockdowns and the accompanying student disconnection and anger stemming from feeling unsafe and unempowered to do anything about it. Narratives in the news cycle that politicize the work of educators and demonize them. This is not a strong soil in which what-ifs can take hold. And yet, you are here, a community full of what-ifs, ready to step into this most challenging space. It speaks to the tremendous strength of your character, and it makes me hopeful for the future and so very grateful that we've been able to walk with you at least a little bit on your journey. And friends and family gathered here today, thank you for the support that you have provided these graduates to fulfill a significant what if in graduating today. Your continued support of them is instrumental in helping them achieve what I hope to be myriad what ifs in their careers of serving students and families. By way of illustration, we're going to turn to the participatory, yes, I said participatory, part of our ceremony. For those of you Piagetian scholars out there, we are going to engage in a tradition. It's new. This is the second time we've done it, but that's how traditions are built. In the School of Education, it's a symbolic representation of these wishes for our graduating students and the support they have from their community. In the School of Education, we give our graduating teachers a little light in their final apprentice teaching seminar. This stems from a conversation I had with a colleague about 3 years ago. I was lamenting that the fact that the symbols for the work educators do seem to consist mostly of apples and school buses. Now, I like apples and I like school buses, but I think it trivializes the complex work that educators do. This colleague, Dr. Rodney, responded by saying, well, you know, internationally, the symbol for teachers and education is a lamp. It's a light. Educators carry light. They illuminate dark spaces that are scary. They push into new vistas where no one has ever gone before. They walk as light bearers in the front to remind people of the what-ifs on the path ahead. So with that, our active learning, it's not School of Education unless there's active participation. Graduates, you were given a light after you walked across the stage. It isn't just a lovely parting gift, although it is very cute. It is to remind you of who you are, the importance of the work you do, the many what-ifs to pursue in your future, and the community who walks with you. And audience members, this is participatory for you too. So now's the time to get your phone ready. Please listen to my directions. I will give these first to the EDD candidates, then to the graduates seated in front of me, then to the faculty seated behind me, and then to the audience members. All right, are you intrigued? Okay. I have to first get something so that I can continue to do my job. All right. Can I have the house lights turned off? Keep going. Stage 2. Everything off. Not kidding. I still see illumination. There we are. Don't be scared. Okay, can we get the stage down a little bit more? You can yell at me if that's not. This live stream is interesting. Turn down the lights. Okay. All right. EDD graduates, those educational leaders who leave this place to continue to work in, with, and for schools and students, turn on your lights. Graduates seated in front of me, teachers of all content and grade levels, educational innovators, special educators, educational technologists, reading specialists, principals, and school psychologists, please turn on your lights. Faculty members, the educators of educators, please turn on your lights. This is who you are. This is your community. This is who carries light too. But wait, audience members, if there are any educators, former educators, or any professional that works in a school, turn on your phone flashlight. And finally, anyone who loves an educator and recognizes the work they do, please turn on your phone light. And there you go. All right, now, educators, graduates, I'm going to ask you to stand in the dark. You can do it. Very nice. All right. Audience members, feel free to keep your phone flashlights on, although it's about to lose its potency in just a minute. Can I have the house lights back on? Okay. Are you ready for the big part? Now for the conferral of degrees. Upon recommendation of the faculty, Vice President Helyarud has presented your names to President Schuster to be permanently entered on the rolls as alumni of Webster University. By virtue of the authority vested in him by the Board of Trustees of Webster University, the President has conferred upon you the degree or certificate you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may move your tassels from right to left to signify your new status as graduates of Webster University. EDD graduates, you may raise your light to signify your degree conferral. And let's applaud for the graduates. I told you this is the best ceremony. I'm sorry. All right. We now come to the end of it. Thank you for your participation and support of these amazing graduates who are still standing because I just want you all to see them. Graduates, thank you for your work you will do for students, families, and communities with empathy, compassion, vision, and wicked skill. We now have some directions. So the platform party is going to exit the stage, and then we ask the graduates process out first, and then guests may follow. Once again, congratulations to you. Thank you all for attending. Have a lovely, wonderful evening.